Welcome to this webinar dedicated to Testable Minds. So I'm going to present you some information about Testable Minds and then show you very quickly how you can post a study to Testable Minds. It's not going to be a very long webinar, but I'll be waiting for your questions in case you have some, and hopefully I can answer the questions that you have. So feel free to use the Q&A option from this Zoom webinar. So Testable Minds is a dedicated participant pool. It has around 12,000 minds at the moment, but growing very, very quickly. 78%, around 78% of participants are from US and UK, and around 80%, a bit more than 80%, declare English their first language. The mean age is 34.9 years old. Around 54% are female participants and 46% male participants. The commission that we charge for the participant recruitment on our pool is 30%. That can go down to 10% with departmental licenses. It also goes down with the different subscription options that you have. And it is the lowest commission on participant pools. You can compare that with MTER, for example, which has a typical commission of 40%. But the most important thing we believe about our participant pool is that we have the most advanced participant verification system, something that the other participant pools don't offer, and in fact are quite far from offering something similar. So participants who want to go through this verification system, this verification process, must submit to us their photo ID. So we check their photo ID, we make sure it's genuine, we check the location where it was issued, we check also the date of birth, and we check the sex at birth. So based on that information, we can certify the information related to their location, to their age, and to their sex. Also, we ask participants to submit a live webcam photo, and we match that photo against the photo that appears on their ID. And only when these two match, that's when we record the participants as verified. So we can be sure it's really them. And then every time they want to sign up for a new study, for a study requiring verified minds, they must go through face authentication. So again, get a picture with their webcam and make sure that that picture matches whatever we have on file from them. It's a pretty secure system. You should never say 100% secure, but I think it's very, very close to 100% secure system. So we can be certain our participants are humans. You may have heard about the bots problem on the other subject pools. We are also sure that our participants are who they say they are, that they are located in the countries that they declare, and that they are reliable. They tend to perform better or to pay more attention to the studies than the regular participants you find on the other participant pools. In terms of location, we do check. We have advanced tools behind in the background, checking that they really access the study from the country that they declare. So another very important thing to underline is that Testable Minds is not a labor market. So it's not like MTurk or most of the other participant pools. So on Testable Minds, people don't sign up because they want to make money. And we are very clear and very straightforward about that from the start. We tell them this is not a money-making website. In fact, to enforce that, to make sure that participants are not here only for the money to make a living, we impose a $50 maximum that they can earn on Testable Minds per month. So not a single participant can earn more than $50 per month on Testable Minds. We restrict their participation. And that's precisely to make sure that they don't use this as a kind of a money-making website. So again, that may contribute to the generally higher quality of the data that you collect on Testable Minds. Testable Minds is also software agnostic. That means that you can post any experiments, any studies on Testable Minds. They don't need to be experiments created with Testable. As long as you have a link, as long as you have an experiment that runs in a browser, you can post that link to Testable Minds and collect data. In very short time, in 1 or 2 weeks, we will implement also more advanced integration tools with the other softwares available, such that we can send back information to the software to make sure and to get information from the software where experiment is running to close the study automatically and so on. For now, if you have an experiment that is created elsewhere, not with Testable, we do ask you to provide a completion code at the end of your study, such that our minds can enter that completion code in Testable Minds. This is how we make sure that they actually reach the end of your study. Last point, we are so confident about the quality of our minds that we refund researchers not happy with the results within $100 limit. So best, I think, for you is just to try Testable Minds, post a study for $100, see if you think the data is reliable. If you're not happy, just ask us for a refund. And I don't know if it's because researchers are generally kind, but it never happened. We didn't have a single request so far for the money back. Okay, so this is some introduction for Testable Minds. Let me go on Testable and show you how you can post a study to Testable Minds. So you can access Testable Minds from the left menu here after you sign in. Once you click here, you can launch a new study. When you press on this, you will get one of these boxes here. So this is the box for your new study. And here you can modify the name. You can give it a name. Let's say study for Testable Minds. That's just for you. Nobody else will see this name. You get a code for your study that ensures easy tracking. I will show you later on what's that about. Then here you add the link to your experiment. Let's say it's a testable experiment and you have such a link. It can be anything else. It needs to start with HTTPS, and that's important. So make sure you add that at the start. If not, you'll get a warning. After that, you can decide for how many days the experiment should be available. The default is 7 days. Maximum allowed time by default is 120 minutes as well. You can modify that if you want. Participation fee, let's say I want to pay $5 for the experiment. And the goal is to collect 50 subjects, or let's say 20 subjects, okay? So you see now here you get the budget calculated. What is the budget needed for this study? So you have $5 per participant times 20 participants, $100 plus the 30% commission. You need a budget of $130 to launch this study. You get an overview of your budget, available budget here at the top of the screen. It says you have $23 available for recruiting minds. Commission for minds recruitment is 30%. You can add more money by clicking here. Also, you have a history, a budget history, how you spent your money. Let me show it to you very quickly. So you get money in. So you see when you added money to Testable Minds, you can get the invoice as well. And then you can see money out. You can see when money went out from your account. So when you launch a new batch, for example, and how much was that batch for. So you can easily follow how you spend your money on Testable Minds. Okay, so, and see here that I get also this red warning. So my budget is $130. I cannot launch the study because I don't have enough money. I only have $23 here. Okay. So then you need to check if you need verified minds only to be able to access your experiment. So these participants who underwent this more complex verification process, we have a minimum payment per hour for these participants. You can also use Testable Minds as your internal subject pool at the university. So you can replace SONA, for example. So if you check this one and your institution is, let's say, University College London, then your institution would appear here, and you can select only participants who have an email address from University College London, who are registered as subjects with an email address from University College London. That's not the case here, because in this account, in this test account on Testable, I don't have any institution associated with my name. But here you should see the name of your institution. Okay, so then you have other selection criteria. So you're going to click here. You can add more criteria. Select participation criterion. You can select between this approval rate. So if you select that, you can say the approval rate should be above or below a certain number. Usually is above, let's say, I don't know, 90%. So you add it there. You can add a new one, and you say location. So here you can select the countries where participants are located. You can select age, and you can define a range as well, or participants above or below a certain age. Note that we only accept participants above 18 years old in our participant pool. So if you're only looking for participants above 18 years old, you don't need to specify anything here to have any criteria, because that's by default. We don't have any participants who are below 18. Then you can select sex of participants. So you can run it only for female or male participants. You can select first language. And you can select as well the panel, and I'm going to show you immediately how that looks like. Here, select participation criteria. Participant is in panel or not in panel. So you can post your study only to participants in a certain panel or to participants who are not in a panel. And these are the panels that I have defined in my account. These are panels related to previous studies. So let's say that I run a study now, I have 50 participants, and then that's followed by another study. I want another 50 participants, but this time these participants shouldn't have participated in the first study. So I can create a panel with the participants from the first study, and then I can exclude that panel from the participants who can take the second study. Okay. And you can manage the panels here, the Minds panels. I'm going to show you in a second how you can do that. So then you need to check these boxes that you confirm you'll not collect any personally identifiable information, such as names, emails, phone numbers, and also that you confirm the experiment complies with the relevant data protection guidelines. So that's for us in order to launch the batch, or for you some information defined. And then to the right hand side here, to the right side here, we have information that participants will see when they look for studies on Testable Minds. So you have the title of the study, whatever you want the study to appear, however you want the study to appear for participants. Let's say very interesting study. And then the description, you can provide all the details here. If you're looking for certain participants, what they should be, what they should pay attention to, and so on, before launching the study, before deciding whether they want to participate or not. Then you can, you need to select the area, cognition or social psychology, whatever your study is about. Then you define an estimated duration, let's say 20 minutes. And you have to check some of these boxes if they apply. So if you present graphic images, images of a violent nature or involving nudity or so on, so you need to check this box. If your study involves strong language as well, you need to check these boxes. If you have either of these boxes checked, then we require you to submit an ethics approval from your university, and we will check that. So you need to check that and upload the ethics approval from here. Otherwise, your study will not be approved. So you must do that in case your study has graphic images or strong language. You can also, and you should also, upload the ethics approval in any case for all the studies. This is just good practice. So you need to check this, upload the ethics, and we'll check it. In practice, that's what most researchers do. Regardless of the nature of their study, they upload these ethics approvals. Please also check whether the experiment features video stimuli or audio stimuli or writing assignments. The participants ask us for that information because depending on the location where they are, whether they can pay attention to the task, whether they need to have headphones or be in a really, really quiet place for a long time, writing long assignments, and they want to know that before starting the study. So make sure that you give as much information as possible to the participants. Okay, so once you've done all that, and assuming you have sufficient money in your account, you can submit the study for a review. So let's try to do that. Let's make it a very, value must be greater than or equal to 2 because I selected, because I have 20 minutes, the estimated duration. So if I make this one shorter, let's say only 5 minutes, then we can go with something that works. So I only need 10 participants, let's say. That's the minimum. And in this case, I have the budget available. So I will need to have a description as well and select the area. And now you see that I can submit the study for review. So if I submit it, then this study will appear under live batches. Remember, that's the code of the study, this 6-letter code. I will show you here under live batches. Oops, I clicked on the link by mistake. All right, so batch was created, live batches. You can see it on Testable Minds, how it looks like. You see the code of the study appended to the 01. That's because it's the first batch for this study. You can launch multiple batches from the same study, not at the same time, but you can have multiple batches from the same study. And the advantage in having multiple batches from the same study is that participants who took part in one of the batches, one of the previous batches, cannot participate in subsequent batches from the same study. So you don't need to make sure that we exclude them and so on. As long as the batches belong to the same study, the same participant cannot take part in more than one batch from the same study. Okay, and once you submit a study for approval, we'll receive a notification, we'll review the study, and if it's okay to be launched, then it's gonna go live, and it's gonna appear here, and you'll see the participants starting to fill in the slots that are available. You can see the results as well as they come in. You can also expire the batch early, so before collecting all the data, if you want. Otherwise, when the data is collected, the batch will expire automatically, and you can find the expired batches or the past batches here with all the details that you had, plus the results. So let's select a study where I have a bit more results, a batch where I have a bit more results. So if I click on results, that's what I see, this table with the participants, everyone who took part in this study and this batch. You get the mind ID, sex, age of the participant, the result of the face match for the verified participants. You see this number should be very high all the time. The location, the browser, screen resolution, the result file. So if it is a testable experiment, you can click here and it's going to take you directly to the result file from that participant. when it was started, how long it took for that participant to complete the study, what was the fee that you paid, if you paid any bonus, and so on. You have also a code field that's for the completion code when you run the testable experiments in some other software. And here you can see the status withdrawn, and these ones are approved. They are all approved because it's an old study. When you collect the data, when you start getting participants in your study, here you will have two options: to approve or to reject. Once you approve, you also have an option to pay a bonus. Once you reject, you have to provide a reason for why you rejected the participant. Okay, so that's it. You can also check all participants and add them to a panel. So if you want to create a panel with the participants in a certain batch, then you can easily do that. Talking about the panels, this is where you can find your panels. Oops. So if I click here, I have some panels which are empty. I just created them, but I didn't populate them with any participants. But I have other panels that have participants. So beta testers, for example, you can see the ID of the participant, the mind ID. You can see the approval rate of that participant, and you can see also the batches in which that participant took part, batches belonging to you only, of course. So you see, for example, this mind ID was in four of my batches, 4 of my experiments. And you can have multiple panels, and you can select any of these panels for or as a selection criteria when you post a new study. Okay. Some of the other things that you have available here: the researcher profile. That's the information that participants will see from you. So you can edit some of this information. You can add the website, you can add an image, you can add also information about the college, the institution that you are associated with. By default, you get here the institution that is assigned to you or the sign up based on your university email address. This is just a made-up institution for the test account that I have now here. Okay, just to show you how it looks like, your study. So this is the page with the details about the study that participants will see, and they want to decide if they want to participate or not. If they click here, that's going to start their participation. Okay, and all the studies in Minds, available in Minds, will appear here. So you'll have a small box like that. You can have some indicator for verified minds, and also this flag here for how much your study pays. Okay, and people can also get details about you. So if they click on their name or on your name, they get information about the total studies that you ran on Testable Minds. What was your average hourly rate? How many minds you tested so far? What's the approval rate? And the average approval time. So they get all this stats information about you. They get access to your website if you made it available, and so on. Okay, going back to this space, to the researcher space. Here we have the budget history. I've shown you that. And here you have a section where you frequently asked questions. We try to update it as often as we can. It hasn't been updated in a couple of months now, but yeah, we should have more updated information there. We are working also on a new design for this page, so some of the things may change, but you should be able to find all this information that I presented to you, and to help you post the study on Testable Minds. So That's about it. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A section from the Zoom webinar and ask me now. I'll try to answer. I will just wait for 15-20 seconds to see if some of you have some questions. Otherwise, I can tell you that this webinar will be recorded and will be made available on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it later as well, in case you forgot some of the information and you'd like to be reminded about that. So no questions, I can see. That's all for Testable Minds. If you can think of other questions later on, don't hesitate to email us at contact@testable.org, and we'll be happy to respond. Thank you, everyone, and hopefully I'll see you for the next webinars. Bye-bye.